Good morning. On today's episode, we're talking about our worth. Yes, our worth isn't for sale. It's not up for an auction. It's not up for, there's no price tag on our worth. There's no energetic exchange when we try to prove our worth to anyone. Not in a job, not in our business, not to our family, not to our friends, not to anyone. It starts with us first. Starts with us really taking a look at number one, why do we see our worth as a like nickel or dime? Or we see our worth as not as valuable. Or maybe past experiences have caused us to go into a cycle of prove mode because maybe when we were little, no one saw our value, or maybe our value was taken. I know for myself, having grown up in foster care, my value was robbed. My value, my worth was, it was, well, taken. It was people took and then discarded. And it left me thinking that I'm not worthy. I'm not valuable. It left me feeling like I was a piece of trash, even though I knew that I wasn't, but I would prove that I wasn't. And yet there are people that would see the value, see the worth, and yet there were still some that just trashed it. And so it made me think, made me believe that I wasn't worthy or valuable. And so I spent so much of my life proving my worth. And do you want to know where it showed up the most? In my career, in my business. Before I had a reclamation, before I had oh gosh, I'm waking up moment in my life, I realized that my worth is no longer for sale. People who People who abuse it, mistreat it, trash it, I can tell right away when that happens. Maybe not right away, but I can tell when my value and my worth is being trashed, being treated like a dollar store object. But it isn't until we find our worth, it isn't until we wake up, it isn't until we heal, it isn't until there's no amount, let me say something before I continue. There is no amount of affirmations we can speak to change the belief. There's no amount of scripture that we can read to change the belief. Trust me, I've tried. There's no amount of, you know, words spoken by others that can help us believe it. It's literally something that we have to do. We've got to get to that place where we are believing the truth about us, not believing the lies. You know, most of our experiences happen when we're kids, right? So guess what also happens? Lies get told, either from adults, parents, friends, playground, bullies, the bullies. We've all been bullied at some point in our lives. Yes, bosses can bully, coworkers can bully, friends can bully, spouses can bully, kids can bully. And it's gotten really bad out there. And so now it's like, wow, I look around and I'm like, man, so many people really need to walk through their own reclamation so that they stop bullying other people, because there's no point. I don't think there's any point in bullying other people. And there's no peace in the people that are bullying. And then there gets to be no peace for those of us who are getting bullied. So I realized today that our value is it's not a garage sale item. It's not a discounted knockoff. It's not a knockoff Louis Vuitton bag, or it's not a knockoff pair of Guess jeans, right? It's more than that. It's something that is it's so exquisite that it's sacred. We've got to protect it some way, shape, or form. Protect it at all costs. But you don't have to go into a vigilante mode, trying to see the sacredness of your value. Your value is awesome, but you're the first person that has to see it. Like I said, nobody else is going to see the value that you bring or that you have first. Now, I believe there's a statement out there or a quote that there are other people that sometimes see our value first. And I believe that the people who do see our value, I believe that there are those that see our value that treat us with respect, kindness, and don't mistreat us and don't abuse us. Then there's the people that do see our value first, and they can tell when we don't see it ourselves. These are the people that mistreat us. These are the people that, gossip about you, do all kinds of stuff to you because they're trying to get you to walk in discouragement. They're trying to get you to believe the opposite of the truth. They're trying to get you, sometimes people are trying to get you to their level. And our value, like I said, it's not something that's for sale. It's just not. It's not, you don't find it on the clearance rack. We also give our value away prematurely to people. We can give our value away when we are wanting to be liked, loved, accepted, and that only adds to sometimes we may even find ourselves saying, well, see, I knew that was true. When in fact, it's not. That thing that we believed about ourselves, excuse the noise in the background today. It's a little bit noisy today where I'm at. But if we really took the time to understand the truth about us, really took the time to seek that out, got the healing that we needed, I guarantee you that there would be more people that would stop mistreating people. I believe that people would not bully people. I believe people would have a deeper understanding of who they are. When people do not know who they are, they allow other people or experiences to define them and tell them. And there are people who aren't going to remind you of your value. There are people that are going to remind you and devalue you. And so if you look today, where in your life are you finding that you are energetically drained? Where the output that you're giving is draining you. It's draining you soulfully, mindfully, spiritually, energetically. It's making you sick. You have symptoms that you can't figure out that how did they get here? You can't figure out why you're still, chasing the things, trying to prove the value. And I briefly touched on where I see this the most, and it's in career. I have a program called Career Reclamation Blueprint, and it's for business owners and for career leaders. And I realized, because I myself have been walking through my own reclamation, I realized that career is the number one place people want to have their value seen. People want so badly to they want so badly to be acknowledged and seen and respected, and when they're not, it's a disheartening thing that they keep, instead of When people's value isn't being treated with respect and we keep having to prove things, we energetically can cause ourselves to do things that might be out of character or out of the norm for us. For example, we might turn into the fixer of the environment or the wherever we're at. We might try to become the initiative taker with a vengeance. And I say it that way because I myself was one of those. And I realized when I got to my reclamation, I'm like, oh my gosh, energetically, I'm drained because I've been trying to force them to see my value. They don't see it. And, there's nothing that we can do to force people to see our value if they're not willing to see it. And also when we go through that reclamation, it helps us to be more confident, more strong, we have a deeper knowing of who we are. And then I believe there will come a day when we no longer energetically force people to see our value. Because when we will do what I call is waking up. It's like waking up from slumber, waking up from the hibernation. It's like, wow. Then when you wake up and see yourself as the exquisite jewel that you are, your energy will then be put in the right places. You will stop chasing. You will stop pushing. You will stop proving. You will stop forcing. And instead, you will find your peace again. And so just a few things to take an audit today. Where are you finding yourself forcing people to see your value the most? In what environment are you proving? In what environment are you finding that your energy is low? And maybe your thoughts go in several directions. And where else in your life, where did this first happen? When you get to the root of that, you will start, and then you start to heal. I'm gonna say, I would definitely find a really good therapist that can help you. Because it isn't until we start healing that we're going to be walking around like sleepwalking in a slumber. And it's almost like we're going to be in this fog, but we won't know that we've, excuse me, we won't know that we've been in a fog until we start healing, because that's when the breakthrough comes. That's when oh my gosh, where have I been? Like, oh my gosh, why have I been believing that? That's when that happens. And then, as you can hear in my voice, your energy shifts, because then it's like, oh, imagine walking into the same environments that you've been a part of for so long. And imagine being able to no longer prove. And you start realizing you're saying, I'm done. I'm done with that. And then you're also realizing that when people that you're surrounded by, when they start speaking in an energetically low output about situations that, going through the same thing, it won't affect you. And you're going to realize, oh, I've been there. Hey, I've been where you're at. And also, this is what I did to reclaim me again. Because I don't have to prove my worth to my boss. Because if they're not going to see it, then that's a them. I'm doing a podcast. Then that's a them thing. Sorry, my family needs me, apparently. So where in your life today are you energetically giving more and not getting the return you'd like to see? And also, how would you like to see that change? So let me know if this encouraged you today. And just know that, hey, you're not for sale. Get your value out of the display window. It's not for sale. Your worth is not for sale, and you're not on clearance. And so thank you so much for listening. And yeah, reach out to me and let me know what stood out to you the most, what resonated with you the most in today's call. And hey, you're worthy. Your value is so exquisite. It's beautiful. It's a gem. It's so sacred